Hello to one and all. Welcome to my channel. I'm again back with another very interesting topic, that is type 2 hypersensitivity. In this video lecture, I have described type 2 hypersensitivity in detail along with various examples. Hopefully, this will clear all your doubts. So without wasting any time, let's begin the topic. Type 2 hypersensitivity, it is also known as tissue specific or cytotoxic hypersensitivity. This type of hypersensitivity is antibody mediated like that of type 1 hypersensitivity, but here antibodies are mostly IgG and sometimes IgM. Complement, phagocytes and NK cells have important role in type 2 hypersensitivity. Such hypersensitivity reactions takes place when mechanisms of self-tolerance is breached and some self-reactive immune cells are activated to produce antibodies that bind to antigens on host own cell surfaces. That means antibodies are secreted by immune cells due to some unknown reason or may be due to sustained microbial infection. These antibodies have capability to bind to self antigen present on host cells, causing the cell lysis, which leads to apoptosis, or you can say programmed cell death. Further, antigens are either intrinsic, that is self antigens which are part of host own cells, and can be extrinsic or exogenous, that is absorbed onto the cells during exposure to some foreign antigen, or can be certain drugs or chemical which act as hapten and bind to cell surfaces and evoke hypersensitivity reactions. Moreover, alloantigen can also provoke hypersensitivity reactions. These are non-self antigens from members of same species. For example, ABO and Rh blood group antigens. Similarly, antibodies can be autoantibodies or alloantibodies. Hypersensitivity reactions are completed in two phases. First one is the sensitization phase, which leads to the production of antibodies that recognizes substances or metabolites that accumulate in cellular membrane structures. Second one is the effector phase. In this phase, target cells are coated with antibodies resulting in cellular destruction. So, in first phase, antibodies are produced against either self-antigens or due to certain drugs or chemicals or any other related substance. In effector phase, these antibodies causes the lysis of the cell. Now coming to mechanisms involved in type 2 hypersensitivity, first one is the antibody and complement mediated damage. Second one is antibody dependent cell mediated cytotoxicity, also called as ADCC, and third one is the target cell dysfunction. We will take up all of them one by one in detail. So, first one is the antibody and complement mediated damage. This type of damage to cells takes place by either complement activation and formation of MAC, that is the membrane attack complex, or due to opsonization resulting into phagocytosis, and also due to inflammation reactions. There are certain examples of this antibody and complement mediated damage, but we will take up here mismatched blood transfusion reaction and drug induced hemolytic anemia. Complement activation and formation of MAC, IgG or IgM antibodies can activate complement by classical pathway. You can also watch my video on complement activation via classical pathway. Due to complement activation, this led to the production of membrane attack complex, that is MAC, which form pores in cellular membrane resulting in cytolysis, that is cell lysis. Now let's see how complement activation takes place, leading to the formation of MAC, which causes the cellular destruction. So here it is a target cell having surface antigens. Binding of antibody with surface antigens activates classical pathway of complement system. First, C1 binds to antigen antibody complex, which activates cascade of complement proteins such as C3, which further dissociates into C3a and C3b. C3b participates in the formation of C9 complex. These proteins are deposited on the surface of target cell, resulting in the formation of pores due to MAC, that is membrane attack complex, causing cell lysis. So here in second diagram you can see the structure of MAC or membrane attack complex deposited on the cell membrane or cell surface. So different complement proteins which are present in the MAC are poly C9. Apart from this, there are C5b, C7, C8 and C6. This membrane attack complex causes influx of potassium and chloride ions, whereas sodium and water goes outside, causing the cell lysis or apoptosis. Next one is opsonization or phagocytosis. IgG or IgM antibodies along with complement protein C3b coat the target cell, and this is called as opsonization. However, opsonization is more effective when both antibodies and C3b opsonize the target cell, leading to its phagocytosis. Phagocytes such as macrophages and neutrophils have receptors, that is Fc receptors for antibodies and CR1 receptor for C3b, which mediate the phagocytosis of opsonized target cell. Now let's see the mechanism of opsonization causing the phagocytosis of target cell. Again, this is target cell having the surface antigens. Binding of antibodies to surface antigens activates the complement system, which enables C3b to bind on the surface of the target cell. Both antibodies and C3b act as opsonins, and opsonization is more effective when both antibodies and C3b opsonize the target cell, which attract phagocytes such as macrophages. Macrophages have CR1 receptor for binding with C3b and Fc receptor for binding with Fc portion of the antibodies, which induce macrophages to undergo the process of phagocytosis of the target cell, and hence the target cell is phagocytized by the macrophages. Now coming to inflammation, complement proteins such as C3a, C4a and C5a produced due to complement activation act as anaphylatoxins, causing inflammation. These complement proteins have capability to bind to mast cells, causing their degranulation and releasing histamine and other mediators. Now this histamine and other mediators causes smooth muscle contraction, vasodilation of blood vessels will take place, and there will be increased vascular permeability, causing the inflammation. Moreover, complement system results in influx of fluid which carries antibodies and phagocytic cells such as neutrophils and monocytes to migrate to site where antigen is present under influence of chemokines such as C3A, C5A and C5b67, which are also produced during complement activation. These phagocytic cells then release certain toxins and enzymes which further enhances the inflammation. This is the fixed tissue with surface antigens and nearby capillary having preformed antibodies in blood. These antibodies are formed against own body antigens either due to unknown reasons or due to persistent microbial infection. These antibodies then bind to antigen on tissues resulting in complement activation. Complement through series of complement proteins led to the formation of MAC causing cell lysis. C3A, C4A and C5A produced in above reaction act as anaphylatoxin causing inflammation. Mechanism I have already explained earlier. Further, C3A, C5A and C5b67 act as chemokines. Among them, C5A is most potent in mediating the process. These chemokines induced monocytes and neutrophils to adhere to vascular endothelial cells and extravasate through endothelial lining of capillary. You can see the process of extravasation of these cells, thus inducing the migration of monocytes and neutrophils towards site of complement activation in tissues, releasing certain toxins and enzyme, enhancing the inflammation in tissues. Now let's see these two examples of antibody and complement mediated damage in detail. Mismatched blood transfusion reactions. As we all know that blood groups are of four main types: A, B, AB and O. Now let's discuss this in detail. Blood groups are mainly classified on basis of antigens on surface of RBC and antibodies present. Antibodies here are IgM. Now let's see here. Blood group A having antigen A and anti-B antibody. Blood group B having B antigen and anti-A antibody. Blood group AB having both A and B antigens on surface of RBC but no antibodies are present. O has no antigen but both anti-A and anti-B antibodies are present. Suppose if blood group of donor is A and recipient having blood group B. So now it is clear here that anti-A antibodies work against A antigen. Similarly, anti-B antibodies work against B antigen, causing clumping or agglutination of RBCs. Now let's take another example where donor having blood group B and recipient having blood group AB. So again you can see here there are no antibodies against antigen B and anti-A antibodies work against A antigen of the recipient, again causing clumping or agglutination of RBCs. And this agglutination of RBCs result in either immediate or delayed hemolytic transfusion reactions, mainly due to complement mediated cell lysis. Drug induced hemolytic anemia. This is a red blood cell. Certain antibiotics, for example penicillin, cephalosporin and streptomycin, here we are taking example of penicillin, can adsorb non-specifically to protein on RBC membranes, forming a complex similar to heptan carrier complex. In some patients, such drug protein complexes induce the formation of antibodies which then bind to adsorb drugs on the red blood cell, inducing the complement mediated lysis, and thus progressive anemia takes place. But when certain drugs are withdrawn, hemolytic anemia gradually disappears. So next we will talk about antibody dependent cell mediated cytotoxicity, also called as ADCC. Cytotoxic cells such as NK cells, macrophages, monocytes, neutrophils and eosinophils express membrane bound Fc receptors for Fc region of the antibody molecule. Therefore, these cytotoxic cells can bind to antibodies and thus to target cells, releasing the mediators such as perforins and granzymes, causing the death of target cell by apoptosis. However, the cytotoxic cells are non-specific for antigen, and specificity of antibody direct them to the specific target cell. So after this slide, I am going to talk about the mechanism of ADCC, and after that we will take up example, that is transplant rejection. So let's see both of them one by one. In ADCC, surface antigen on target cell are recognized by antibodies by Fab portion. Antigen antibody complex induces certain immune cells such as NK cell, neutrophils, eosinophils and macrophages. These immune cells have Fc receptor for binding with Fc portion of antibodies. In ADCC, target cell killing does not involve complement mediated lysis but involve a number of different cytotoxic mechanisms. Because of binding, immune cells become more active metabolically. As a result, lytic enzymes in cytoplasmic lysosomes or granules increases, and release of these lytic enzymes at site of Fc mediated contact result in damage to the target cell. So here you can see neutrophils, eosinophils and macrophages release lytic enzyme causing damage to the target cell. In addition, NK cells and eosinophils release perforin causing perforin mediated membrane damage to the target cell. Apart from this, activated macrophages, monocytes and NK cell release tumor necrosis factor exerting cytotoxic effect on the target cell. Granzymes are being released by only NK cell causing damage to the target cell. This is a graph expressing MSC class 1 molecule on its surface. Graft products shed due to surgical stress are picked up by special cells, that is antigen presenting cells. These antigen presenting cells then process and present antigen on its surface to be recognized by helper T cell. From here it migrates to nearby lymph node, and inside lymph node these antigen presenting cell present antigen on its surface with the help of MSC class 2 molecule so that antigen can be recognized by naive helper T cell. Now upon activation, these naive helper T cell differentiate into two different type of cell. First one are the Th1 cell and second one are the Th2 cell. First here we will take up the Th1 cells. These cells release certain cytokines such as interleukin 2 and interleukin 12 and have a positive feedback, enables Th1 cells to undergo proliferation. Pro-inflammatory cytokines secreted activates pro-inflammatory cells. First cells to be activated are CD8 T cell in presence of cytokines such as interleukin 2, interferon gamma and tumor necrosis factor alpha. Activated cytotoxic T cell attack graft endothelium and signal apoptosis of cell by a release of granzymes. So you can see here CD8 T cell and it binds to receptor on graft cell, releasing granzymes. Next cell to be activated are NK cell in presence of cytokine such as interleukin 2 and interferon gamma. Interleukin 2 is released by graft, increases the adhesion of NK cell to endothelium and also increases the susceptibility of endothelium to NK mediated cytolysis. Next one to be activated are macrophages in presence of interferon gamma and GM-CSF. Macrophages expresses Fc receptors and can kill graft cell via ADCC. Macrophages also release interleukin 12 to maintain Th1 response. Next we will talk about Th2 cell. These cell in presence of interleukin 4, interleukin 5 and interleukin 13 undergo proliferation. These Th1 cells then bind with B cells. B cell express MSC class II molecules to present antigen to Th2 cell. Th2 cell secrete interleukin 2 for B cell proliferation and interleukin 4 and interleukin 5 for class switching. So upon binding with T cell, B cell differentiate into different type of cells and majority of B cells differentiate into plasma cell which secrete antibodies, and some are differentiated into memory cells and stored in the bone marrow. So in next step you can see the differentiation of B cell into plasma cell releasing the antibodies, and then these antibodies bind to graft and enables complement mediated lysis of cell. So it is clear that different types of cells upon activation damage cells of graft resulting in its rejection. So last type is the target cell dysfunction. In this type of hypersensitivity, antigen antibody complexes formed are non-cytolytic but impair the normal functioning of the cell, in which antibody interrupt the cell receptor function. Such antibodies are referred as anti-receptor antibodies. That means these antibodies bind to the receptors. There are two main examples of target cell dysfunction. First one is the Graves' disease and second one is the myasthenia gravis. In Graves' disease, binding of antibodies to thyroid receptors triggers the continuous and excess release of the thyroid hormones. But in myasthenia gravis, which is an autoimmune disease in which binding of antibodies inhibit acetylcholine to bind to the receptors. So let's take up both of them, Graves' disease and myasthenia gravis, one by one. Next one is the Graves' disease, which is also an autoimmune disease. Normally, thyroid stimulating hormone receptors are expressed on follicular cells of thyroid gland, and binding of thyroid stimulating hormone to its receptors stimulate follicular cells to produce thyroid hormones T3, that is triiodothyronine, and T4, that is thyroxine. But these hormones T3 and T4 are under feedback control, which suppresses the excess or overproduction of thyroid hormones. But in Graves' disease, body produce thyroid stimulating immunoglobulin having similar effect like that of TSH. Thus, TSI causes thyroid gland to produce excess of T3 and T4, and moreover there is no feedback control, which leads to high production of thyroid hormones causing symptoms of hyperthyroidism and enlargement of thyroid gland visible as goiter. Normally, when a nerve impulse arrives at tip of axon, acetylcholine molecules stored in vesicles are released into synaptic cleft, which binds to acetylcholine receptors and help to propagate nerve impulses across neuromuscular junction. But in myasthenia gravis, which is an autoimmune disease and result when our immune system malfunction and releases antibodies that blocks or destroys nicotine acetylcholine receptor at junction between nerve and muscle. This prevents nerve impulses from triggering muscle contraction, leading to skeletal muscle weakness. The most affected muscle are those of eyes and face. Symptom of disease include double vision, drooping eyelids and trouble in walking and talking. So dear students, this is all about type 2 hypersensitivity. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day and stay tuned.